I'm Leon Tillmann, and I'm working at Berlin Partner, the business development agency of the state of Berlin. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you why we're here today in Berlin and not anywhere else in Europe. And the title is already suggesting it. It's because Berlin is the top address for AM in Europe. At Berlin Partner, I'm responsible for the cluster additive manufacturing Berlin-Brandenburg. And what we do, for example, you can see our logo here, is we support promising events in the town. But obviously, that's not all we do. Our main task is to represent the entire AM ecosystem in the capital region. So we support the companies, we try to connect them, we try to drive innovations and even help funding these innovations. Another thing we do is we try to educate people and industries on additive manufacturing. So we, for example, started an AM lecture series, and more recently we also started to visit companies in different industries and to try to find new users to adapt additive manufacturing technologies into their daily processes for production and development. And I have to say on this occasion that all these tools we saw today, they are very, very helpful for all people who will start with additive manufacturing in case of design. So thank you very much for all your developments. But I'm not only representing the companies and the ecosystem in Berlin, but also this city itself, as the Amber cluster is completely funded by the Berlin Senate and all the activities we do. And they also funded 13 ongoing innovation and research projects from the fields of construction, lightweight design, medtech, aerospace, and bio-based materials. And I wanted to show you at least some of them today. I just took the best looking and easiest to explain ones. On the left side, you can see a carbon fiber reinforced concrete printing, which is one project, or a very good looking new developed diode lasers, which are going to be integrated in a robot to additively manufacture the next generation of German high-speed trains in Berlin. Also from the field of medtech, you can see there a perfusion system printed from human-like cells, which will help develop cancer treatment drugs in the future, or a tooth implant, which is going to be personalized, and you can implant that directly after extracting the old tooth. Also, you can see there a coming machine, which is going to combine metal printing from filament and the sinter process, so that you will sinter the metal part directly in the printing chamber. And the most fascinating, or one of the most fascinating projects for me is shown on the top left. There's a project, what you see there is a printed organ. It's more specifically a living liver tissue, which is really working like a liver, and it's personalized because it's printed from patient-specific cells. But who is inventing all of that, and the community I was talking about? That's the part of the community, as we've got over 60 players in additive manufacturing right now. But I hope the graphic shows you very well the specialty of Berlin, which is that we cover the complete supply chain in additive manufacturing. You can see on top left all the hardware suppliers. Down under is the strong networks we have here in Berlin. And of course, the very strong research landscape with universities, research institutes, and federal institutes, all invested in additive manufacturing. And of course, the universities also educate the future talent in additive manufacturing, for which we just got 2 new professorships focusing on AM in the last year. There's also some service providers who who cover all the major AM technologies locally in the region, some material suppliers, and of course, most interestingly for you, there are some software developers. Some of them you will see, or you have seen already on stage here at the CDFAM, and with Trinkle and 1000 Kelvin, two of them are also invested in the innovation projects I showed you earlier. This big community and all of these innovations are two of the main reasons for us to call Berlin the AM capital of Europe. It's a big claim, we know that, but I really want you to remember it even after my presentation ends. And it's not just a claim, but we did some research on it, or better, we let AM Power from Hamburg do the research for us. They did a benchmark study last year, and some things they found out is that there really is no such strong political commitment or even strategy in any of the other 10 regions that they compare to Berlin in Europe. It was cities, regions, and even smaller countries. And in all of them, there's also no such big community as I showed you from Berlin. Some of you will know that Berlin has a very vibrant startup scene in general, with one of the highest venture capitals, and this also counts for the AM community, with 2 or 3 times the AM startups as in comparable regions. And we are very good in networking, not just with the Amber network, but for example with MGA, which is based in Berlin, and it's the biggest international AM user network with over 120 companies focusing on developing AM. The last thing they mentioned was that with the Additive Manufacturing Forum, we established many years ago the leading and biggest European user conference in Berlin, with over 600 people coming yearly to Berlin to discuss the future of AM. And one last thing I want to point out, and you can see it in the small picture there, is that on the Forum Next, their sponsor here as well, I saw that, that's the biggest worldwide AM trade show. We are hosting an Amber community booth, co-funded by Berlin. And I'm very proud to say that 20 players from Berlin are joining us on this booth, so that the Amber booth is going to be the biggest booth probably on this year's Forum Next. I think that shows very well how active and big the community in Berlin is. But it's not the only very big and active community in Berlin, and it's not my topic at Berlin Partner, but I thought it may be very interesting for some of you as well, and it's of course the digitalization community, more specific, the AI community in Berlin. And I just want to give you some facts about that as well. Berlin, as I said, is one of the best startup locations in Europe, not just for additive manufacturing, but even more for AI, as 33% of the AI startups in Germany are based in Berlin. It's a total number of 165 startups currently, and that's not even all, but a recent study found over 300 AI companies in Berlin, estimating a market volume from 2 to 3 billions by 2025, and that does not even count in the several AI development teams from bigger companies that are very often located in Berlin, or the single experts working from Berlin that we know of. All of these companies and these experts are driving AI and innovation made in Berlin in almost all major industries. It's a little bit shown on the graphic to the left. But we also are very strong here in Berlin research-wise, with over 65 professorships focusing on AI, again, educating many talents. We've got over 50,000 technical students here in Berlin, so I think that's a very big talent pool that you could pick up. But the main strength of the Berlin AI ecosystem is that it's very diverse. So It's not dominated by one or two players like it is in many other regions, but there are around 25 networks, hubs, and initiatives driving this topic, like the AM Campus, the AM Park, or even the German AI Association based here. There are conferences like Race of AI, and some focuses on trust for AI, which is a big topic, explainability and consumer interests, or testing and certification of AI applications. And many, many, many more. And if you want to know more about this or about additive manufacturing in Berlin, I really recommend you the websites shown here, amber.berlin and iiberlin.com. You can find all the companies there, all the projects I mentioned, and many, many more insights about the topics. So I hope I could explain a little bit why Duan decided to host the CDFAM this year in Berlin, because of the two strong ecosystems in digital and AI and AM to come together in this city very well, maybe like nowhere else in Europe. And yeah, if you've got any other questions, or you are planning on coming to Berlin with a company, or you just want some sightseeing tips, you can come to me later at networking. So yeah, have a nice evening, have a nice day in Berlin, and thank you for your attention.